Excellent news! The riddles of society and death solved. Part 1. The path to a utopian society. The time has come for thoughtful Americans of goodwill to recognize and come to terms with the fact that America is not a democracy. America is not a society governed by and for the people who make up the society. And in fact, any rational analysis of the situation understands that America is in fact a plutocracy, a society governed by and for the wealthy. And no thoughtful person of goodwill can be happy with this situation in which a wealthy minority controls our economy, our government, and even the public space and discussion defined by the mass media, all of which are controlled by corporations which are controlled in the interest of wealth, and that's plutocracy. And plutocracy and the profit over people capitalism upon which plutocracy is based are in fact evil, and that's one thing we have to come to terms with. Plutocracy and capitalism concentrate power in fewer and fewer hands and continually work to undermine any moves toward democracy, which would inevitably weaken the power of the plutocrat class, of capital, of wealth. It's approaching totalitarian proportions the way wealth controls our society, and it's something we have to confront. But here's the good news. Buried beneath the company town indentured servitude of modern capitalist life is the fundamental three-part freedom, power, capacity that defines what it is to be human. You can think, you can use language to communicate, and you can work with others, from one other to multitudes, to get things done, make things happen, and create things. You can think, you can talk, you can work with others. Together, these three abilities constitute the fundamental human freedom and power to create reality through shared language, values, and practices. And this is crucial, that freedom power to create reality is always there. It may be obscured and twisted to the ends of those wielding power, but it doesn't go away. It is what it is to be human. And that freedom and power is radical, which means radix, which means it's all the way down at the roots of society, our freedom and power to create reality through thinking, talking, and working together. So in this way, this freedom power is an always there potential for a starting at the roots remake of society that over time and in cooperation with others can construct a proliferation of new societies, new social realities in which voluntary participants use their freedom and accept their responsibility to work together to create the best possible societies they can at any given point. So, right now, if we choose to, we can use our human freedom and power to start creating new societies right here in the middle of the company town. First, we identify shared values about what it means to be a good person and have a good society, and then we determine to start trying to live according to those values, including, over time, seeking out others who are on the same path and creating societies with them. So our human freedom power to create reality lights the path to social revolution. Start finding ways to live new values, and it's on. So drawing on the Enlightenment, Western tradition of which our society is a manifestation, I propose the following 5 interrelated social civic values as good ones upon which to start creating a true democracy revolution of new societies. Step 1, human decency. At birth, every human being is equally deserving of respect and equally deserving of society where he or she can live a good life. Step 2. The Golden Rule, morality. Good citizens and decent people live by the following principle of morality and freedom. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, or your children, or mother, or whoever you care most about in the world. The Golden Rule demonstrates that morality, as in the way a person should act, is social. It's about how you treat other people and the extent to which you consider how your actions will affect other people. Now here's an aside on the Golden Rule, true democracy. Morality is not a code laying down specific don't-dos and do-dos in order to be a good person. If you personally want to also live by some code of ethics with strict rules of what you can and cannot do, that's your business. You are free to do so as long as it does not interfere with anyone else. We have the right to expect people to act morally, but good citizens and decent people do not try to impose their particular ethical code on anybody else who does not choose to live that way. Step 3, democracy. With Golden Rule morality as the starting point, the ideal political form is what can be called true democracy, which is to say that people govern themselves. Any governing is by and for the people being governed in any particular situation. Wouldn't you want the opportunity to participate in any decision that affects you? The Golden Rule demands we extend that right to all, and that is true democracy. Another aside on this one on democracy, fundamental respect for our fellow humans and the consequent application of the Golden Rule means that decisions in true democracy are not determined by 51 to 49 votes. They are decided through open, honest, thoughtful discussions aimed at consensus. And if no consensus can be reached, when about 2/3 of the people agree on a course of action, the other third should accept the democratic decision and go along, or else break away. Step 4, justice. Within the open, honest, thoughtful discussions that make up the political process of true democracy, good citizens and decent people will consider the good of everyone affected by the decision to be made, as called for by the Golden Rule. If people try to argue for a course of action based on selfish self-interests, good citizens and decent people will recognize and critique such positions as anti-democratic. And finally, step 5, freedom. Live and let live. Look kindly on people, both generally and specifically. Feel free to find and create ways to be happy and enjoy life any way you can without hurting or infringing on others. So we have the freedom and the power to create true democracy. All we have to do is believe in it, concur with the credo, and then start finding ways to enact it, especially in cooperation with others who are on the same path. It won't always be easy, but it's the right thing to do. And the resulting societies, as the products of the democracy enacted by free, responsibility-assuming people, will be ongoing utopias, the best societies free people can create at any given moment. So stay tuned for part 2 of Excellent News, as well as further elaborations and discussions and commentaries on these and other topics.